Picking the right candidate has always been one of the biggest challenges for most leaders and organizations. Imagine going to a grocery store to pick a watermelon. The expert will tell you, first, lift it up. A sweet and ripe watermelon should feel heavy for its size. The second tip is to look for the filled tip. If you turn a watermelon upside down, you should find a yellow spot, which is also known as the filled or ground spot. And the third tip is to check the tail. I'm referring to this piece of stem that remains attached after the watermelon is harvested. If the stem is dry, that means the watermelon is ripe. But wait, are we picking up right watermelon or great candidate? The funny thing is that picking the right candidate is 100 times harder than picking the right watermelon, and the consequences could be disastrous. So learning how to do it is a necessity for every manager or leader. So today, I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how to get the best candidate. If you speak with most interviewers, they will often tell you that interviews like a gamble most of the time because people can just showcase themselves really well, but in reality, they could be a very different person. So sometimes also they are really good candidates, but they don't match the company culture, or they may not get along very well with their colleagues or their bosses. So for that reason, it's a kind of unpredictable, but that doesn't mean we should just give up and close our eyes. So there are certain techniques and tools available out there that can help you to become a better interviewer and pick your next candidate wiser. So here's the tip number 1. Character matters more than credential. In my career, I have worked with many individuals from high performers, high potential, low performers, no performers, only talkers, bad attitudes, all varieties, and seeing people in action before and after an interview has taught me some great lessons on paying attention to early signs that it can help you to pick the right candidate. It's always more important to pay more attention to their characters than their credentials. So here's some of the things that I pay attention to. I always pick candidates who are, number 1, perfectionist. What I meant by that is those who always double check their work. One simple test to do is to ask the person to write a page long without any phone or any help, just a piece of paper and a pen, and pay attention to how many errors and how many corrections you can see. Double checking your work is essential. I pick candidates who are, number 2, organized. What I mean by that is those who always plan their day, prepare their documents in an orderly manner, and of course, you can observe easily from their resume. So the way they present their life and work experience. I pick candidates who are, number 3, coachable. What I mean by that is those who are easy to talk to. They're listening attentively, have had mentors and coaches in the past, and are willing to learn and improve themselves. And you just need to ask them a few questions and you can figure that out easily. Number 4, hardworking. What I mean by that is what kind of goals and project they have been involved in, easy or hard ones, how much effort they have put in getting things done. Have they been involved in any extracurricular activities above their day-to-day job? Have they taken any responsibility beyond their job scope? And these are some super critical for success. The list can go on and on, but these are a few key points that I will definitely pay a lot of attention to. Here's the tip number 2. Pay attention to their past. We are definitely not defined by our past, but one thing is for sure, we are well prepared by our past. There are a few elements that knowing them from the past is really critical for someone's present status, and these are some of them. Who are their parents? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. A child usually has a similar character or similar qualities to his or her parents. Well, some of you might be thinking, would you check that out with senior candidates? Well, you can always ask it in a friendly way, and if they are married, knowing about their spouse will tell you a lot about who they could potentially be. What do your parents or spouse always say about you? This could be a great way to understand them. The next question is that where did they have their internship or maybe their very first job? You see, your character is pretty much shaped by the age of 25 and what occurred during those years. Your first job, first boss, first company. This can truly shape your character as a result of what you have witnessed and what you have done. Having a great start is a necessity. For the same reason, I always recommend young people pick the right place to intern or start their career. The next question would be, what kind of people were your previous bosses and mentors? How did they manage you? If you work with someone who always yelled at people in public, the chances of you becoming a yeller is very high because that's all they saw. And if you have been managed by someone who spent time coaching, training, and mentoring you, you're surely being well exposed to development and hopefully being groomed and prepared for today. And here's the tip number 3. Ask yourself, do you love their presence? The job of an interviewer is not only to pick someone who is technically fit for the job, but also to feel the energy, feelings, the emotions that you exchange during those moments with the candidate. It may sound cliche, but I discovered that most people leave organizations and jobs they enjoy because they dislike the people they work with and for. If you don't feel like loving the person and your energy is off while interviewing the person, try to find out why. And if your heart is saying something is off, well, there is a very high possibility for you that maybe that person is not fit for your team, department, or organization. And these are some of the early signs I pay attention to. Number 1, how do they describe themselves? Number 2, how do they talk about their strengths and weaknesses? Number 3, how do they carry themselves, their body language, their facial expressions, and their attire? Number 4, how do they talk about their ex-bosses and organizations? Number 5, how do they interact with everyone in the room if you are interviewing in a group? And finally, how positive, optimistic, joyful, and fun they are and their perspective towards life and work. This point might sound a bit judgmental, but I would rather be careful and love the person that I'm inviting and vouching to join our team than to be sorry and regretful for my decision later. So to summarize it, number 1, character matters more than credential. Number 2, pay attention to their past. Number 3, ask yourself, do you love their presence? As an interviewer, you are like a gatekeeper to the company's present and future. One wrong hire could potentially ruin the entire legacy of an organization. You need to take it very seriously, hire as slow as possible, and spend more time getting to know the candidate well. You may not always succeed, but you can surely make a better decision. You are in control of who you bring inside. Hey, my first book, In Control, is now available for order. You can get it wherever you are from Shopee, Lazada, Book Depository, and Amazon. If you like what you see, click on the like button down there, subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out on any of my new videos.